Man, welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty Podcast. Back at it again, where it's all about that fake stuff, but we winning that real motherfucking money. Crab man, what's going on, man?
Just hanging out on the porch. Got my hot chocolate, got my vape. They don't go so great together, but it's good tonight. It's about 35 degrees out here. It feels great.
It's that football weather. Man, you know how I do. I done rolled me up a doobie-doobie-doo, and now I'm ready to get to making some money. Heck, I cooled off the past couple weeks. I started off so hot through 10 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks or whatever. I done cooled off the past couple weeks, but in the lab, back at it again, ready to do this thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the Steelers game last night. That one, I told you, I was like, you got to bet that, man. Steelers definitely covering 3.5, and then the sky fell out, the snow started falling, and Jameis came a calling, son. He was lighting them up.
Yeah, man. Lock that one in. It's funny because I literally only locked that in because you told me to lock that in. I always stay away from -3.5 all the time. But, hey, it is what it is. Because I got me some bangers tonight, and I'm about to go undefeated from here on out. 4-0. But basically, I got 8 game lines, and I got 15 over and unders for your PrizePicks, Underdog, Dabble, and we're going to cash out. So we got about 23 bets total for your ass.
Yep.
Before I go on, though, I usually go solo every Thursday. Get it out before the Thursday night games. Didn't get it out in time because I couldn't get off my ass. Been working like a dog. I just couldn't get off my butt, Craft Man. But it's all right because now I got the Craft Man on a gambling episode with me Friday night. And we about to roll right through it. Add the Discord. Jump on the Discord and then go check us out on YouTube. Other than that, 5-star review. And that's all the good stuff. But Craft Man, anything else you want to say real quick?
We're winning this week. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. I put them PrizePicks in. I was like, that's just straight going into my pocket this week. No doubt.
Man. Hey, man, it's just business this week. Just business. Week 12 business trip. We'll start it off from the top. I got Denver -5.5 versus Las Vegas. Look, Crab Man, a lot of these bets placed them on a Wednesday night. Let's see. Because it's Friday, so a lot of these bets. So I would say Denver, Tampa Bay, they're probably at -6, maybe -6.5. I'm about to pull it up here in a sec. But I caught a lot of these lines at 5.5, and I think they really started off at 5, but they started being bet real quick, bet up. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and hop on a couple of these that I really like. Denver -5.5. Bo Nix. I'm just a Bo Nix guy now from here on out. I put my faith in Bo Nix. Where are we at? -6. All right. That's all. I did all that rambling just so I could find the game line. -6 is where it's at now. So the public is with me on Denver. Any agree, disagree?
Yeah, it's a division game, so I could see the Raiders kind of coming out there and giving them a fight. But Denver just looks like the better team. I mean, I'm scarred from the Steelers game last night. I thought, it's like the same situation as that. Denver's playing great. They're a lot better team than the Raiders, but, I do like the line, though. If I had to pick one, I would pick Denver to go ahead and cover that.
Next one, I got Tampa Bay -5.5 versus the New York Giants. And crap, man, the truth is I've just been on Tampa Bay all motherfucking year. I can't stop putting money on them. Every line I see, I like. Whether they're underdogs, favorites. Tampa Bay is just like the darling for me this year.
Well, they always kind of come through, even when Baker didn't have his weapons. I mean, I know they covered against the Chiefs when they were favored by like 9.5 or something crazy. And like they're always right in there at the end of the game. They covered against San Fran. So they're a great underdog team to bet on, for one. And then when they are favored, it does seem like they they pan out. The only one that I remember they didn't cover that we had was when they played Denver early on in the season, and
Right.
Denver beat the shit out of them.
Right. And now Denver looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
The next two I'm about to call out underdogs. The Rams +3 versus Philly. Phil caught them at +2.5. This one specifically, and the next bet that I call out, we're rolling with Vegas this week. Although that Rams Philly is kind of moved back, so now the public kind of hopped on that one. But Rams +3, by the homie poor man P Miller caught him at +2.5. Craftman likes Philly to win this game, so that one's gonna be a tough one. The next one that I got, the other Chargers, the other LA team, my bad, the Chargers. I'm catching them at +3 versus Baltimore. Obviously the public is on Baltimore. But shoot, you know what's funny about this is between both of those LA games, the Rams and the Chargers, I caught them at +3, and the public was on the favorites in that game, but now it's kind of swinging back because now both of them are at +2.5 right now. So people liking the home dogs this week.
I mean, that's not a bad bet to make at any point is picking the home dogs. And to shoot the Chargers, I don't really feel like they should be underdogs in this game to begin with. Baltimore, a lot of people are on Baltimore because of that offense and how high-powered they are. They got problems. They got problems in the secondary. And, you see that record with Lamar against NFC teams. I mean, I don't know, I have the record off the top of my head, but you see it every time they play an NFC team where he's like 11-0 or whatever. But he can't beat the Steelers. And AFC teams just know him better. They know how to play him better. So
yeah,
I have a feeling the Chargers are gonna shut that offense down a little bit, and the Chargers passing game is gonna be rolling.
I agree. I just like with the Chargers, their formula. They running the football, and then it doesn't hurt to have a quarterback that can make every throw on the field. So the formula that Jim Harbaugh and them got rolling, they got it cooking. Next, the poor man P Miller done locked this one in. I had to put his name on it because Arizona, the money line, it's a pick 'em this week between Arizona and Seattle. I seen it starting off. I can't remember. It might have been Arizona -1. Listen, I talk about all year on these gambling episodes, teams you could trust to place a bet on, teams you can't trust to place a bet on. Earlier this year, I tried to dip in on the Cardinals a little bit, just trying to test them a little bit, see if I could put a little trust on them. They let me down, so I haven't gone back to the well. But here, the poor man P Miller in a pick'em situation is just testing it out, trying out Arizona again. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I thought about putting that one in too, but scars from Arizona because they're kind of like the Falcons in a sense, where as soon as you start to trust them, they'll go out there and just put up a dud. I mean, they look like one of the best teams in the league before they went on bye. They beat San Fran, and then they came out there and wiped the floor with who they played that next game. Was it the Bears or I can't remember, but they beat the crap out of somebody right after that game. But yeah, Arizona's kind of wishy-washy.
Got New England +7.5 versus Miami, and I'm all over this one. The poor man was all over this one. I'm all over this one now. Craftman likes it. He was all over this one. In truth, when I see bets where I can grab them at +3.5 and +7.5, I really like to hop on those bets like that. But this one right here, I'm just OC Swizzy. Might talk to him later on tonight, but hey, I'm a believer in old Drake May. I think New England's kind of got it rolling. I think Drake May is kind of got it rolling. They're better than 7.5 underdogs versus Miami. I believe that. I'm not saying they're all that, but
yeah, they got that narrative that Miami, they always beat the crap out of bad teams, and they lose against the good ones. I really don't think New England is one of them like bad teams. I think they can play with anybody they're up against. Their defense isn't that bad. It's a division game. They are playing in Miami, but yeah, I think New England covers that, and they might have a chance to win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they just won it outright.
Yeah, I'm with you. Next, we got your Green Bay Packers Hey, me and Phil, we always like to stay in the well. Those good organizations that are buttoned up. The thing is, they're going up against another buttoned up organization in San Fran with a big one. Brock Purdy out this week. They're starting. Who they starting?
Nick Bosa out.
Nick Bosa's out. Let me look at this line real quick. It's still sitting at 5.5. So
It was at 3.5 though.
okay, that's right. It was Green Bay 3.5, and now it's Green Bay
It was
5.5.
at one point it was Green Bay 2.5, and then it might have got bet up, but it was Green Bay 2.5, and the over under was 47.5, and the over under dropped to 44.5.
Okay.
So if you caught that one early, if you were on the Green Bay side, you probably ended up even better with. And then, like I said, Purdy's out, Nick Bosa's out, Trent Williams is banged up. I don't know. I think he's gonna play. Kittle's gonna play, but still, it's they're gonna be relying on that run game, and if the run game ain't working, it might be a problem. But one thing they got for them is the Packers' rush defense ain't great, so.
Yeah. I would stay away from that one. But if you caught that one early, you place that bet on Tuesday night, Tuesday morning, Wednesday, really before the Brock Purdy news, I would say. If you placed it then, you probably got a good deal on this bet. So that'll be a good play. Go make you some money. And the last game line I got, the Craft Man locked in. Houston versus Tennessee over 40.5. And I was on the phone with poor man talking about Tennessee. I've been kind of trying to hit on the overs on them for a while. I think I'm 1-1 in the past couple weeks. But they got that big playability where Will Levis can just chunk it down the field to Ridley and get a touchdown or two, which kind of makes the over in play because the over and unders in Tennessee games ain't that high. Houston, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
What do you? I mean, Nico Collins in the building. I mean, this one's safe. I'm gonna throw some money on this one myself.
Yeah, I think Houston. They're playing in Houston, so in a dome. So yeah, you don't have to worry about no weather. And the Titans' offense is bad, but one thing that the Titans are good at, and one thing Will Levis is good at, is giving the other team short fields to score points. So that just adds on to that over under too. It's not like they're just some team that just methodically goes down the field and then kicks a field goal at the end. They're either gonna hit a big play and score, or they're going to turn the ball over and the other team's going to score real quick.
Yeah. Let's slide on over to what everybody wants to this is what everybody wants. The over and unders right here. Man, I forgot to say at the beginning of the episode, if you don't even want to hear Minecraft Man's motherfucking voice, go check the description down there. Every bet we place in the description to go win you some money. It won't hurt our feelings if you don't want to listen to us. But at least go win you some money. Tell us about it. Yeah, we got 15 of them. This is me, the Craft Man, and shout out to Noah Dick Blower out there, making us some money, putting in that hard work for the crew, and I'm gonna just start naming them out. Craft, I'm gonna just slowly go through them. Craft Man, just stop me and say something about whichever one you want to say something about.
Okay.
So
I want to say something
Hunt,
about every single one of them.
Then stop me on every single one. We'll say something about them all. I got Kareem Hunt over 72.5 rush yards versus the Panthers too. Well, they sorry ass, so that was hitting. David Montgomery over 0.5 rush touchdowns. Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Christian McCaffery over 73.5 rushing yards. I believe Noah Dick Blow and the Craft Man locked in on this one. Because it is like you said, a lot of players banged up. They're gonna have to run the ball. Well, they got Christian McCaffrey. James Conner over 0.5 rushing touchdowns. Amon-Ra over 0.5 touchdowns. I believe he has a touchdown in I don't know, X amount of games in a row, or it's a bunch.
Yeah, 7 straight games. And the ones that you mentioned with Connor, Montgomery, and the Christian McCaffrey one, me and Noah all have in common. But those three and
next I got Terry McClaurin over 4 receptions. Then
let me talk on that one right quick, man.
Go ahead.
I was just thinking that it's just going to be it's going to be a Terry McClaurin game. He had like one target last week, and every single time that he has a bad game, they come back and just pepper his ass with targets. I'm looking up his game log right now. This is one that I feel very comfortable in because when he has a bad game, say week 2, he scored 5 fantasy points, had 8 targets. The next week, he comes back, has 100 yards. Then he has kind of a down game, 52 yards. Then back up to 112 yards. He had a game with 19 yards against the Giants, and they came back, and then he had 113 yards the week after. So this one seems pretty easy. I like his receiving line too. I think it's around 67.5 or something like that.
Yeah, and then this line is 4 receptions. This was on PrizePicks. I know people, if you listen to us give these over and unders, check all the platforms. Dabble, PrizePicks, Underdog, check them all out. Because if you like a line on the player, go look at all the lines on the player and go pick the best one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift, under 59.5 rushing yards, and Craftman and y'all been all over Swift on the under and Kamara on the unders. I threw another under in here later on, but right back at it. Swift under. I know I put in the under last weekend, and he really only got it because of one play or whatever, one big play.
Yeah, and that was his line was about the same as it was this week. Last week it was around 56.5, but last week, like you said, he got it all on one play. But like I said, the Packers' rush defense ain't as good. They play the Vikings defense, who is number 1 in the league against running backs, or rushing yards per game. In the last 3 games, they're giving up 52 yards a game, and on the season, they're giving up 74 rushing yards a game. That includes quarterbacks and everything. So I don't think Swift gets that. Plus, Roschon was involved last week. Roschon's getting 8 to 10 carries a game, and Swift is banged up with a groin injury. This one seems almost too easy.
Yep, I agree. Bo Nix over 19.5 pass completions.
Yeah.
Lock it in. Lock that one in, Craft man. That last week, it's the same line, 19.5 versus the Falcons. Man, you know I know my Falcons. That was automatic. So this right here, Bo Nix over 19.5.
Against the Raiders.
Yeah. It's just too easy, man. Too easy.
Yeah. The Raiders don't give up a whole lot of big plays either on defense, so it's just going to be – I think Denver's offense fits what the Raiders try to prevent to do on defense. The Broncos are great at just 5-yard gain, 7-yard gain, just getting the ball out of Bo Nix's hands. I think he gets plenty of completions this game.
Puka Nacua over 72.5 receiving yards. Chuba Hubbard under 55.5 rushing yards. And look, because I've locked in a couple of these that we've talking about. Chuba Hubbard under 55.5. This is, to me, going against Kansas City. I feel like they're just going to get the brakes beat off of them this week. And we might see a little bit of Jonathan Brooks this week, I'm thinking. Not to say that he's going to be like a huge part of the game plan, but we're talking about he's got to hit, 55.5 yards. And I'm just saying, if Jonathan Brooks, they give him a little look, few looks, takes away from it. I'm just playing the odds and the percentages. So Chuba's been automatic. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, the only thing I worry about that is Kansas City. They're one of the worst teams at like covering the spread, and they're 10.5 favorites, 10.5 point favorites. But Kansas City plays down to their competition a lot of times. So I could see, as long as if the Chiefs blow them out and that game script gets bad, that's definitely going to hit. But and there's another angle where the Chiefs can just hold the ball all game. Kareem Hunt's probably going to get 20-something carries, and they could just have the ball the entire time. And the Panthers go 3 and out and punt it right back to them.
We got Rachaad White over 19.5 receiving yards. That just feels a little low to me. But you tell me, Kraft, man. And the last one that I locked in right here, this one, it does have nothing to do with anything else other than I got Brock Bowers over 60.5 receiving yards. I'm just going to start believing in Brock Bowers, and I'm just going to start seeing I know Denver's defense is good, but Vegas has nobody, dude, and it ain't like they're getting Trey Tucker involved, and I know Jacoby Myers is involved somewhat, but I mean Brock Bowers is a beast, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna start trying to capitalize on Brock Bowers. I'm gonna start trying to make a little money off of him.
Yeah, Bowers played against he played against Denver earlier this year and had a pretty big game. I'm trying to look up the stats he had against Denver, but they let's see. They played in week 5. He had 12 targets, 8 receptions for 97 yards and a touchdown against Denver. I remember that one play. I think a lot of it came on that one play where he just jumped over the guy in the middle of the field, kind of just high pointed the ball, and then ran for about 30 yards for a touchdown. But
yeah,
he killed Denver once. He might do it again.
DK Metcalf over 65.5 receiving yards. Like we said in that pick 'em with Arizona. That one's hitting, Kraft, man. That one's hitting.
Well, I would like to think so.
And
I like him for a touchdown, too.
And then the last one we got is Jayden Reed over 48.5 receiving yards versus San Fran. Wrapping it on up, Kraft, man. Go ahead and say whatever you want to say about these over and unders. Anything, any notes? Just match them up right. We can give you as many over and unders, but the tough part is really matching them up right. So I can't tell you how many times we done went 3 for 4 or 4 for 5. Just try to find the ones you like.
Way too many times gone 3 for 4, 4 for 5. That's why I started doing some flex plays just so I can make sure I get some money in my pocket at the end of it. Because I got sick of losing by a couple yards on something. Like I think last night in that game, I had Nick Chubb's under. I think it was at 56.5. He had 59 rushing yards, so lost out on 3 yards by that one. But that's just the way it goes when you do these bets. But yeah, there's a lot. We gave y'all a lot, but just pick the ones that you like the most and make you a 4-leg or 2 4-legs or whatever you want to do with it. Add them all together and do a big parlay. See if you can win some money.
Yeah, I mean, I got, I've been gambling on these game lines for a long time. So I always have these little strategies. I always play, I got my main bets with bigger money, and then I got my small bets with a little bit of smaller money and stuff like that. So I'm starting to develop my strategy. Me and the poor man, we're going to start releasing some stats and stuff next season of data that we're going to record and take care of. Pretty much, I want to start formulating my formulas for these over and unders here at some point. So I'm thinking I'm going to start mixing in some 2-leggers, some 3-leggers, some 4-leggers, some 12-leggers, the whole shebang. But, I'll start developing my strategy for that. Start making money on that. We'll see how it goes.
That's really the way to do it. Is if you're going to do some of them low chance of hitting things, that throw some small money on it. It's $3 for $300 or something like that, and just go ahead and pile it up that way. And another thing that I've started thinking about doing is trying to hit on some of these touchdown bets, like a player like a Sterling Shepard or somebody like that. One of these players, just do a 2-leg. Do one that you're very comfortable with, and then the second one, do something like Xavier Legette to score a touchdown and get like 6-1 odds on it, and you don't have to hit 4 of them. You just got to get lucky on one reception.
Right. Hey, we could do a whole episode on just talking strategy for gambling. In fact, when 2025 rolls around, before week 1 rolls around, we need to sit down, have one of these episodes, talk about strategy, how we're going to approach it, because we could do that shit all day. But listen, everybody, thank y'all for listening to the podcast. A little bit later on the gambling this week, but we still got it out there for your ass. 23 bets, 24, 20, I think 25 bets total if you count some of these money lines and some of these line differences that me and the poor man had different. But listen, thank y'all, everybody, for listening to the podcast. Join the Discord. Listen to us on YouTube. Check us out. We're on everywhere. Anywhere you can listen to a podcast, we should be there. But just come hang out with us, play some fake stuff with us, win some money with us. That's really all we care about. That's all we fucking do is play the fake stuff and win fucking money. Kraft man, any disagreement there?
No disagreement at all. That's exactly what we do. We right when the Monday night game ends, we're back to it on Tuesday. We're sitting there putting in our lineup, trying to fix all our fantasy deals and starting the gambling, trying to figure out what lines we like, what lines we don't like.
Yep. Trying to push out. We're just putting out that content for your ass. A lot of gambling. Got to make sure we get the gambling out. Got some dynasty stuff coming for you. But, like I said, roll you one up, crack you open up here, take a hit of that vape, spend some big money. Anything else, Crab Man?
Drink hot chocolate.
Drink some hot chocolate. And scared money don't make no money. You fucking soy boys. So I'm out.
Peace.